Hello, Pittsburgh, and welcome back to Biographies. I'm your host, L.D.E, and today we're spotlighting none other than the legendary Elton John. If you got questions, hold on tight. I just might have the answers because let me tell you, I know a thing or two about him. Elton John, the celebrated songwriter, didn't actually begin his journey that way. In fact, his name isn't Elton John at all. He was born Reginald Dwight. Want to know more? Let's start his story at the very beginning, back when he was just a baby. Well, of course. Everyone who are songwriters have to be babies at least once. Of course, everyone was a baby at some point, whether they wanted to write songs or sing lyrics. Reginald Kenneth Dwight was born on March 25th, 1947, in Pinner, a town near London, England. He lived in his grandmother's house with his parents, Sheila and Stanley. Reg was an only child, shy and awkward. But there was one thing that made him shine: music. Yeah, that's right, music. His father played the trumpet, and his mother loved listening to records. Even as a young child, Reg had an ear for music. He could hear a song once and play it back on the piano. With lessons and practice, his talent flourished. By the time he was 11 years old, Reg was so skilled he earned a scholarship to the Royal Academy of Music in London, where he studied on Saturdays. Well, most Saturdays. Sometimes he skipped class to buy some rock records. Although the Academy nurtured his classical training, Reg is infatuated with rock and roll. At 15 years old, Reg led a regular gig playing piano at a local pub. The crowds were sometimes rowdy, sometimes indifferent, but Reg didn't mind at all. He kept playing and singing. As a teenager, he joined a band called Boozology. A few years later, he saw an ad placed by the Liberty Records seeking some songwriters. Reg had the skills. He could play piano, sing, and compose melodies. But he struggled with the lyrics. Even though he didn't get the job, someone at the record label handed him lyrics written by Bernie Taupin, another hopeful who had responded to the same ad. The two hit it off, and together they began creating something special. Reg knew music was calling to him, but he didn't think Reginald Dwight had the ring of a rock star at all. So he took Elton from one bandman and John from another, and thus was born Elton John. What about Bernie? Bernie became Elton's songwriter partner, and even his roommate just for a while. Living in Elton's mom's house, they formed a dramatic duo. Bernie wrote the lyrics and Elton crafted the melodies. Sometimes so quickly he finished while having breakfast. At first, they tried selling their songs to the other artists, but when that didn't pan out, Elton decided to sing them himself. His first album debuted in 1969, but didn't make much of a splash. Undertiered, Elton and Bernie kept referring their craft. By the time Elton released his second album, it was clear they had their hits their stride. Elton's big break came when he performed at the Troubadour, a famous club in Los Angeles. Nervous but determined, he stood up from his piano, kicked back his stool, and launched into a set. The crowd went wild, and the album sales soared. Elton was on his way to stardom. Known for showsmanship, Elton found creative ways to stand out. Unable to carry his piano around the stage, he's dressed in extravagant outfits and performed stunts like handstands on the keyboard. Lyrical aside, his music spoke for itself. Hit after hit, both Elton and Bernie captivated audiences worldwide. By 1973, Elton had earned a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, cementing his status as a superstar. He embraced his fame with humor, playing concerts in costumes ranging from Donald Duck to sequin baseball uniforms. Over the years, his flamboyant style became iconic. After 2 decades of rock and roll, Elton explored new creative avenues. He co-wrote the soundtrack for Disney's The Lion King with Tim Rice. Their song, Can You Feel the Love Tonight, won an Academy Award, and the film later inspired a Broadway production. But that's not all he did. He and Tim Rice had worked the lyrics for The Road to El Dorado. After 2 decades beyond the music, Elton found joy in family life. In 1993, he met filmmaker David Furnish. The two married and raised 2 sons, Zachary and Elijah. Elton's family became a cornerstone of his own happiness. Throughout his career, Elton befriended icons like Princess Diana and John Lennon. He also used his fame to make a difference, founding the Elton John Ads Foundation to support patients and raise awareness. Each year, his Oscars party raises millions for the cause. In negotiation of his contributions, Queen Elizabeth II knighted him, bestowing the title Sir Elton Hercules John. Despite evolving from a shy young boy to an international superstar, one thing has never changed. Elton lights up wherever he played music. As he once said, the great thing about rock and roll is that someone like me can be a star. And that's the story of Elton John. Not everyone will love his music, that's their prerogative. But his legacy, it's undeniable. This is L.D.E signing off for now. Until next time, Pittsburgh, keep dreaming your dreams. I wanted to thank you, Elton John. Your music for The Lion King, my favorite movie, has been so great. So keep up with the good work you could do.